Sports expert. Never seen that one. All right. What's up, Sports Expert 101?
Oh,
Ethan.
I gotta get my pen.
Ying Hao.
I get it.
Wayne Chia. Go Vika. Win this whole thing. Yeah. Why can't I see that? Hello, Nicola.
All right, ready to roll?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Boom. Let's get down.
This guy 1000.
Ready to
My
ride.
favorite guy. Who called me out.
Ready to roll. All right, ready? All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is September the 11th, 2020. Before I go any further, given the date, I just want to take a moment and reflect upon the very tragic day that occurred on September the 11th, 2020. It seems like yesterday. I remember right where I was, what exactly I was doing when that tragedy occurred. So for everyone in the New York area, everyone in the U.S., and everyone globally, a shout out to all those who lost their lives at that point in time. Carlos from New York. I think we had a new viewer yesterday, NY.
New York producer.
So shout out to him. Michael Walker's in New York, and I think there's a few other viewers.
Ethan's in New York.
Ethan's in New York.
Yeah. I think you're in Queens. That's where I was born.
Yeah. So does anyone remember where they were and what they were doing on September the 11th, 2001? I remember exactly what I was doing. So very interesting day. Much love to the tragic moment that happened on that day.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think I worked in a hotel at that time, and it was the last day the hotel was going to shut down. It was an 800-room resort in Orlando, and I was in charge of the pool area. And I remember looking at the screens and then watching all that happen.
Yeah, tough day.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, if the internet stops, it's not you. It's really not even us. It's just that we live in an area with really bad internet connection, and all of our kids are here on their computers doing their schoolwork.
Ethan was in 5th grade.
Wow.
I was like in 19, and I just found 20, and I just found out that I was going to have my first son, Jonathan.
Yeah. Seems like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, it was 19 years ago today. Incredible how time flies. You know, Jonathan was once a baby, and now he's a freshman at the Air Force Academy. So, man. If the internet cuts out again, we will stop, or the video will stop on its own, and then we will start another one, a separate one. So if we just cut out or lag and we go away, however, I guess just refresh it and just wait a minute and we'll start another one. As we usually like to do, we like to welcome new viewers. I think we had a couple yesterday. We wanted to give some shout outs too, so let's do that.
Team Groves, Alyssa Hofelt, New York producer, PR, Tennis Paris Brothers, and I've never seen this name, so welcome Sports Expert 101.
You mentioned two names that I had an opportunity to talk with yesterday, and that was Alyssa. What was her name? Was Alyssa what?
Hofelt.
So
Hofelt.
Yeah, I was actually
What's up, Jean?
What's up, Jean? I actually caught her name on Cam Williams' show. And some of her comments, I could tell she was a player. So, I asked her, are you a player? And she said, yes, played for many years. So, hey, welcome, and it's great to have another tennis mind here. Also, the two young brothers that were in Paris that have a YouTube channel that was really well done. What was their name?
Tennis Paris Brother.
Tennis Paris Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So, Carla and I watched a couple of your videos. We'll watch more later. Check their videos out on their channel. What's the channel name again?
Tennis Paris Brothers.
Two brothers, one younger, one a little bit older, and they're on court. They're hitting balls. They're talking about how to deal with different types of players and so forth. But
good for them.
Don't kill me, but because we're coaches, I would like to give you maybe a little, I guess, opinion or tip or two, and maybe it will help you or maybe not. But for the younger of the two, I was just watching a video and you were on the close side of the court. And I think you were playing some simulated match tie breaks. Mm-hmm. Doing well.
Which is good to do.
Stay down on your shots. On the backhand side, stay down. Don't lift up and spin around so quickly. Stay down through it. Watch your footwork. When you're hitting the ball, sometimes when you're running laterally, when you're running left or right, instead of moving in X patterns, you're tending to hit the ball and then stumble a couple more steps in the other direction before you get split and recover. As you get older, that will be exploited. Someone will just continuously whack the ball to both wings, and the more you kind of don't split and recover, those little stumbles as you get older and the ball comes faster, one little extra stumble after you hit and you're not immediately splitting and moving, someone's just either going to go ahead and take the open court, or when you do change direction and move, they're going to go behind you.
Well, his brother, I watched his older brother play, and his strokes are a lot more compact. He hits a lot flatter. Watch your brother. He had a pretty good forehand and backhand. His stroke is pretty compact. Good one to watch. I mean, you hit with him, so that's good for you.
Yeah, just stay patient. All in all, really well done. And it's very courageous to put yourself out on a major platform and show your game. I know a lot of really good players who don't even like to do that because they're, scared someone might, pick them out or call them out. So really well done. It takes courage to do that. So vamos, let's go. Keep them coming, and the best of luck to you. Alyssa Hotfelt, by the way, I was speaking with her. I wish I could see some of her videos from her playing days. She had a lot of good takes. As always, thanks so much to all of you here. Again, we really have a fun time doing this. We don't do this for any reason outside of we have these conversations every day. It has nothing to do with necessarily subscribers or money at all. We just enjoy it, and we don't, I guess we don't really think of it as work. We have fun with it, and that's that. Anything, by the way, you want us to read? Again,
I have 3 comments I'm going to read today.
Yeah, if you
3
have
comments, I picked 3 people today.
Yeah, if you have anything you want us to read now or something you want to say, let us know. I mean, what's the point of talking tennis and you write all this stuff if no one reads it? Why do we write things? Well, hopefully someone reads it. Otherwise, we wouldn't write it. We get that. So if there's something you want to say, please let us know and we'll read it.
I had my phone was blowing up last night during the Osaka Brady. It's more of the Serena Azarenka match. I had Wildlife on Twitter. Ethan texted me, Michael Walker texted me, and I had B-Dog. So it was fun. It was definitely fun chatting back and forth and getting their takebacks on the match. Both women's semifinal was very good. Very good. I think the second one was better.
I thought they were both excellent.
I just thought it was a little bit better just because they were veterans, and I felt like Naomi Osaka won that match, but I felt like she could have finished that in 2 sets. I was shocked that it was taken to a 3rd set. I think she kind of let her guard off on that second set. She was the better player by far.
Okay, so let's ask everybody. Do you want to start with the Osaka Brady match, or do you want to start with Serena and Azarenka? You call it.
Let's start with the Osaka match because that was the first one.
Okay.
I mean, Osaka's serve is on fire. I have not seen anyone, including Serena, serve the way she does. Osaka's first serve and second serve are pretty much about the same pace. It doesn't change, and she loves going down the tee. I was a bit shocked that Brady kept going for her serve. It's like, here you have somebody serving really hard to you and you want to put it in the corner. I thought that was huge, and she gave so many free points from hitting the ball out. I think you saw that. She would try to go cross court and it would go out instead of taking a chance, being a little more safe. Both of them were holding serve. They were both serving hard. So why take such a big risk on Osaka's serve? I felt like she could have chipped it. A strategy I told Beto and Michael Walker, if you have a big server, try to go back to their body so they have to move out of the way, and that way they give you a defense shot, and now you're, now you can come forward. But I felt like she gave so many free points. The second set, I was a little bit shocked. I think Osaka just mentally checked out for a little bit because her strokes were sound. I mean, she wasn't missing very much. They were both hitting the ball very, very hard, by the way. But there was no strategy in that match. They were just hitting.
Look, I have to tip my hat to Brady for her run recently. I think she will be a top 10 player relatively soon, if not top 5. But I think there's an inherent issue that she needs to deal with, and that is going too big on every return. That match could have definitely gone the other way. I mean, Osaka right now I think is the better player, but not by terribly much. However, Brady, if you looked at the match, it seems like every return she would go for broke. That first set was what, 6-7? Was it a tiebreaker first set? Wasn't it a tiebreaker?
Yes, it was a tiebreaker, and the tiebreaker just faded away from her very quickly because in a tiebreaker, I love playing tiebreakers. He doesn't. Tiebreakers, you have to treat them, like everyone says, like they're match points. And you cannot go for broke on tiebreakers. You have to be the smarter player in strategy, and she definitely was not. She was just going for it.
Yeah, it seemed like every look that Brady had at a first serve or a second serve, throughout the entire match for that matter, she stepped into it and just cranked it. You would think, or one would think, if it was my student, I would be really pissed off, to tell you the truth. I'd be like, what the hell? Now, probably what Brady was thinking, and you can agree or disagree, but probably what Brady was thinking is, hey, this is my opportunity. Oh my gosh, I'm here. This is a big step for me. So if she pushes the ball back, or if she would just kind of do that step in and block return, if I'm playing a big server, serving at 120, 130. I'm not taking a swing. I'm not doing anything but basically either a compact, meet the ball, or just step out and block it. If Brady did that, do you think Osaka would have taken the ball and just crunched it on her? Do you think she was going for broke because she understood that if she put up a short ball or a ball with nothing on it, do you think she was thinking that Osaka would just thump it at her? Or do you think she just wasn't thinking good enough or well enough to change it up?
She wasn't thinking good enough. I mean, the points were rolling. It was 1, 2, 3, 4. Eventually, you have to slow down your opponent. It's going too quickly. Make them play a few more points, even though
hit a few more balls.
Even though Osaka was really not missing the ball. I mean, she was just. Her balls were deep, line. I see it very tough for Azarenka to beat Osaka. She's younger, stronger, powerful serve. She moves better, faster, gets there, and she can use strategy. Even though I was shocked that Brady didn't move her forward. Osaka does not like being there at the net. It's uncomfortable for many women. You can see it with Serena. Azarenka played the points better up front, but you can see most ladies, Brady doesn't come up either, hate being at the net. They just hate it.
Yeah, and we're going to talk exclusively a little bit later about the women's final. Again, for me, the match could have gone the other way if Brady.
It was her first major semifinal.
If Brady would not have gone for so much on the returns. Now, who are some of the players on the women's side that are really good at adding variety? The first one that comes to my mind is Ash Barty. Andreescu's another one. Mm-hmm. I don't see Andreescu or Barty playing this match and cranking every return, especially in the tiebreaker. I mean, what did Brady get down? Something like 4 or 5-1 real quickly because she sprayed like three going for broke returns that were sitter forehands. I think she hit 2 sitter forehands extremely wide. I think she had one towards the body that she had to step around, and she smacked that one, I think, 3 feet long. I may be wrong on that one.
It was 4-1. I remember the 4-1 quickly. And she was shaking her head. Yeah, it's her first semifinals, like Michael Walker said. And her best result, obviously. Do I think that we'll see her in another Grand Slam semifinals? No.
Who?
Brady.
I disagree.
No,
I disagree.
I don't think so.
I disagree with you.
I don't think so. She's like.
Why? You tell me why.
We've seen many Americans that go to semifinals and we never see them again in the ladies' side.
I think you're dead wrong on this.
No, I think if Halep, Andreescu, and a few other players would have played, Brady would not have been there.
I don't think so.
Okay,
true or not true that.
Sorry, I don't think she'll do good at the French. Take that one out.
Well, maybe not there because she hits the ball heavy and didn't add a lot of variety. But I think on the surfaces that are hard or grass, I think she has a really good opportunity.
Osaka proved that it was tough for her to keep that level up. It was tough. You know how you can play one set good, just like Serena did, 6-1. You can play that good set, but it's tough to keep that level, especially when you have someone that's better than you.
I disagree.
Okay.
I'm not gonna make a big deal out of the disagreement. It's not a big disagreement, but I disagree with you in the sense that Brady plays big. She has a big game. If she can find a way to add a little bit more variety into it, I think you'll see her top 5, top 8 in the world at some point.
I'm not saying that she's not going to be top 5, top 8,
Then if she.
But I just don't see her getting to a semifinals. I mean, she is 25 years old already.
Does anyone want to take a bet with me on that one?
I mean, he's about to lose the bet, so take the bet because he's about to lose one already.
And when I say bet, we do fun bets. If you're new to the channel, we make bets with sometimes viewers, not for money, but we'll do it. So if you win, you have to. Ethan, by the way, Ethan DA, I think, had a bet with us and lost it and baked our kids cookies and sent them to us. Whereas Carla had a bet with some Djokovic fans when she didn't really care too much for Djokovic a long time ago. Now that the script has flipped. but Carla had to dress up like Djokovic and paint her face up.
Yeah.
I had a bet with somebody and I lost it, and I had to dress up like a girl. Unfortunately, I think I wore one of. I wore one of Carla's tennis
dresses. That I never wore again. Never. Look, she's good, and I know Michael Walker says she reminds me of Davenport. I don't think so. Davenport had a much better game than Brady.
I agree with Michael Walker
because they're big.
Let me ask Michael Walker a question.
By the way, the ugliest dress that I've ever seen. Can someone please call Brady and tell her wear a different tennis outfit because it looks like she's wearing diapers, like big diapers. You even said it. Horrible.
Yeah, it was a horrible outfit.
Let
Let me ask Mike Walker a question. Brilliant tennis mind across generations, not just the now, but knows the game much better than I across generations. Just saying. Michael Walker, do you think Brady makes another major semifinal? Let's hear it from him. I would love to hear what he says.
I don't think so. He said top 5. I think top 10 because you know how Sabalenka, all those women, they go back and forth. Someone said she'll get there before Sabalenka. Derek Edverson.
Agree with that, Derek.
Agree. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
Now last year, I think I would have maybe disagreed with that because times change. But I am about to lose a bet, and I bet it with all of you. So here was the bet, and you guys can come up with what I have to do, even if you're new. So about a year ago, when Sabalenka was kind of making her drive towards climbing in the ranks, I indicated that because Naomi Osaka was kind of. How do I put this right? She was talking about video gaming a lot, and she was kind of doing some Instagram stuff. And I told everyone that I felt that Aryna Sabalenka had a better chance to win her first major before Osaka won her third or next major. If Osaka wins tomorrow, I've lost the bet. So if that happens, I do have to pay my debt and do something here while we do a show. So I'll let you guys think about that. But if Osaka loses, I do owe some hideous thing on a show. So just let me know if that happens and we'll do it.
I'll read some comments in a second, but I was watching Sabalenka's Instagram. I mean, I don't know what this girl's thinking. She put this stupid video. I guess it was her sister or something. They're like kissing each other in the cheek. And it just looked very odd. I'm not sure what's going through her head. She needs to get her shit together.
Okay, think about cross cultures though.
It was just a weird video. Just weird.
If you go to say, who are the brothers? Paris tennis brothers or something? I think when you go, I've never been to France, but isn't it true that when you go to say France and you say hello, don't you do like the on the side of the cheek?
Yeah, but it wasn't like
that. But if
that.
you did that here, you'd be like, bitch, get out of my face.
No, in the Spanish culture, but they were like this, and she was like,
oh, damn.
And it was just odd, and people were like, that is odd. They were just like, it was just odd. It was just odd.
All right, let's read some comments.
B-Dog said, oh my God, Justin, she's not good. With all the other top players out, she wouldn't even be in the semifinals.
Who, Brady?
Yeah, and I agree with you, B-Dog. I agree with you.
All right, I'll make another bet. It's a fun bet. B-Dog, I got nothing but love for you. You're like my number one dog, for real. I mean that. I like having no friends, and you're like the one. But anyway, I'll tell you what. If in the next 2 years, yes, 2 years. 2 years.
She'll be 27.
Okay, let's do the next 4 majors. The next 4 majors. Give me the next 4 majors. So we have the French coming up delayed, then we have the Australian, and then the French again, which gives me a bad deal. So I'm taking the clay, knowing she'll probably lose it, and then we'll have the Wimbledon. No, the Australian. No, yeah. Wimbledon, yeah.
You're screwed.
So if she doesn't make a semifinal within those 4 majors, I would lose the bet. If she does, you lose the bet. Are you in? You want to take that action? You want to take the action?
He'll tell me. Michael Walker says, Carla, tell Justin, I believe she will make semifinals because of her power.
There you go.
But I think there's a lot of players who have power. That's all we see is power, no variety.
Am I right or wrong that Brady had not lost a set in the tournament until last night?
Where's your draw?
In here, you want me to get it?
Yeah, I want to see who she play. He said, I bet you a 49ers hat versus a Patriot hat.
Let's go. New era 59-50-50. I wear a
That's a good bet. You're going to win, B-Dog.
No, you're not.
Yeah, he is. I would even take that bet. You're going to win. 27 is the new 17 in tennis. Yeah, women's tennis. I mean, we used to see a lot of young champions. That doesn't happen anymore.
Let me get my others.
All right, so let's see.
Read some comments.
Let's see. Brady, right? So Brady's first match. Blinkova. Okay.
Not a bad match.
Okay. Garcia. Ooh.
Come on, that's a good match.
Kerber, who's almost done with tennis.
Oh, you're going to eat your
Putin Seva. Come on.
What? Are you serious? Whoa.
Come on.
No.
Putin Seva lets her temper get.
Rewind that. Go back to the beginning. Who was our first match? You just said
Anna Blinkova.
Okay, Blinkova's a decent player. She's been around. Blinkova's
B-Dog said against tomato cans.
Okay, I do like that metaphor. Who was her next match?
Garcia.
Okay.
Who can double fault, who is erratic, who doesn't think, who can lose to anyone.
Garcia's not a bad player. A good win for her. What's the next one?
And Wildlife says I have to side with B-Dog and Carla. The weak draw was a factor for Brady. Sorry.
Okay, well, you're going to help B-Dog buy my hat.
Kerber is not Kerber.
How many majors has Kerber won?
But she's not the same, just like
oh my God.
Muguruza is not.
And
Putintseva.
Potty mouth Putintseva.
Woohoo!
Wait a minute.
What a draw.
Hey, almost every one of you that played fantasy teams, almost everyone had potty mouth Putintseva.
You think I'm crazy, Gene? I'm just saying, if I had Miss Andrescu here, if we had Halep here, if we had Barty here, even Slit Lavina, would have been this easy? No.
Svitolina.
Shouldn't be Brady.
Man, Brady's better than that skinny girl.
Come on, if you give variety to Brady, if you start chipping, slicing, and stuff, I guarantee you she can't hit the ball that hard.
Man, I feel like I'm getting dumber listening to you.
Oh my God, we coach this all the time. How many young girls do we have that can freaking whack the ball? But then when you slice and you chip, they're lost.
Man, Brady was serving first serves at like 115 miles an hour. Her second serve is at 101 miles an hour.
Her serve is great, but does she have a strategy? Did she have a strategy? Was there a strategy, guys?
She took a set from Naomi Osaka.
Because she was sleeping.
She had not lost a set prior to that with the likes of Kerber, Putintseva, Blinkova, and who else did I mention? Garcia. You're telling me that none of those four, you're telling me all four of those girls are schmucks?
Brady plays
Kerber's one.
Bellis in the second round, she did. Where did I miss that? Oh, yeah, that was really tough. Come on, man.
You guys are crazy.
I'm not saying she doesn't deserve to make the semifinal, but you're saying that
Let's read some comments.
I'm reading them.
All right. Well, I'm surprised that more people agree. I think Brady.
I'm not saying she didn't deserve. She played well, but she didn't have a strategy. Here you have. It's like if I have Federer serving to me, or Djokovic, or Nadal, and here I am. I'm gonna go wapa. Makes no sense. Makes no sense to me.
She made it to the semifinals of the U.S. Open without dropping a set.
Wait until she said, so did Melanie Oden. And what happened to her?
That's a good point there.
Come on.
But look, Oden is a different human being than Brady.
Oh,
Brady will be back to a semifinal.
Garcia was a top player, but like all these women do, they go like this. It's like one of those things that just keeps flipping.
So if it's so random, Miss Carlita, Mamacita, muy bonita, if it's so random, then why would you be so sure and confident that Brady will never be in another major semifinal?
Just like I'm sure about Sabalenka, I'm sure about Brady. If she had some more variety, she thinks, yes. But if she keeps with the same strategy, it works on a lot of lower ranked players. But once you reach someone like Osaka, that's there for a reason, it's gonna be tough. She would have had a tough time against Azarenka too.
Would Brady have beaten Serena last night?
No, I don't think so. I think she would have. I think we'll go to that match. I think that's when someone gets beat 6-1, most players disappear. And Azarenka, kudos to her for not letting that,
Look, we'll change subjects. If anyone has any takes before we shift to the next match, tell Carla, and she'll read it before we switch matches. All I have to say is last night, Brady took a set from Osaka, number one. Okay, number one. It was a 6-3 set she took, right? Number two, the first set was a tiebreaker. She got down 4-1, 5-1 early on because she kept whacking balls 27 feet wide off the first ball. First ball errors suck. If I'm playing and I'm making first ball errors, I suck. So nonetheless, if she could have added variety in that tiebreaker, there's a very, maybe not good chance, but there's a 50-50 chance that maybe she could have taken the first set if she would have changed tactics early on. That's all I'm saying.
Didn't we say in the third set it looked like she kind of faded? Her energy was kind of going down. And I think, Michael Walker, you pointed out her skinny legs. I mean, you look at Osaka,
that's a great point.
She's built, strong, all around.
Standing
ovation.
You
look at Brady, she looks like an old lady already with the with that diaper dress.
So I think.
Oh my God, the diaper dress has to be the worst. Asics needs to get rid of that shit.
No, I think it was a Nike dress, wasn't it?
No, it's Asics.
Was it an Asics dress?
Yeah, horrible.
Shout out to Michael Walker here.
Oh,
you guys were talking personally, text last night, whatever. I was watching Cam's show, so. This is a good point that I didn't know you guys said that. So,
I'm not discrediting Brady's run at all. No.
So Mike Walker made a good point, a really good point though. If you look at Brady's calves, The legs are so important in the game. She did have not proportionate calves, in my opinion, to I guess you could say compete at the highest level consistently. Now Sabalenka has the same issue. If you look at Sabalenka, she has kind of the toothpick calves, kind of like I do. I have skinny legs, and
we got to give it to Brady.
So
Hitchhiker's like you're spending 20 minutes on Brady. She's a player too, right? Even though she's not one of my, she's a player. You got to give her that. Like they said, she made the semifinals. Hitchhiker, come on. Just because your boy Federer's not here.
That's okay. All right, we're going to shift subjects to the Serena Williams Azarenka match.
I think ASICS makes diapers, probably. That was a great match, by the way.
Serena Williams Azarenka match. Here we go. Let's start the comments. Let's talk about it. We're going to read your takes, but let me ask you a question. Can Serena win that 24th major? By the way, I remind you that number she is chasing is absolutely biased and hideous.
It is stupid.
It is the stupidest number.
Dumb.
She should already be the greatest of all time. We've debated on this show the big three and the greatest of all time. And the consensus is always, no matter what we think as individual fans and who our favorite player is and who's won the most Masters 1000s and all this stuff, in the history books, when we're all dead and gone and the next generation of kids or whatever comes along and they look in the history books, who was the greatest player? They look at slam count. Now, this is one of those things that is preposterous because the Margaret Court slam count is compiled of a lot of Australian Opens, whereas she didn't have much competition during that era to travel there. But here Serena is trying to get there so she can be in the history books as the greatest of all time. Now, does she win her 24th major?
Well, I mean, I'll read some of your comments. I do not think so. I think there's no way. I just don't see it. I mean, I'll read some of your comments why, but I mean, Serena came out smoking. It looked like Azarenka was a little flat to me because you could tell she was trying to jog, run, jump, but she kept positive even though she was missing. The key to that first set was the serve. Azarenka's serve let her down. She had no first serve. She barely had a second serve. Serena was putting the ball away. She was playing like she usually does when she was younger. Serena was serving well, hitting clean. There goes the first set, right? What does Azarenka do? Breaks her, has the belief, starts returning better, starts serving better, starts moving Serena side to side, front to front. And what happens when you're moving Serena? And I know a lot of you guys say she's fit, but moving the big muscles, the big body, that's very tough. Moving side to side to side. It's very tough. I mean, I just don't know how. You could hear it in the microphone. She was like, she was breathing really hard. I mean, Azarenka made her work hard. She deserved that second set. And the third set, I had a feeling that Serena was done. I thought in my head after watching the second set finish, I said, she's done. We saw a little tweak on her ankles. She said in her interview it was actually her Achilles. And she said it was not a big deal. It was not a factor at all in the match. She said Azarenka actually played well. Azarenka started serving better, making the points longer. You make the points longer in Serena. It's tougher at her age. It's tough with her body weight. It's tough with all the long matches she had. I mean, the strategy was well. She was returning well. I told Justin, I said, I don't know why Serena keeps going cross-court on Azarenka when Azarenka loves that. She finds when you hit cross-court to her, she hits better. She should have gone down the line. And the other thing I watched Azarenka, she had a strategy. She would come to the net and then drop it. She started using drop shots. Excellent tennis. She deserves it. I'm happy for her. I'm bummed for Serena, but after that, I don't think she'll win another Grand Slam.
All right.
She's playing in Paris, she said so.
Serena had to come out smoking. Serena is no fool. The proof is in the pudding. Serena Serena understood that she had to come out smoking. Why? Because I'm relatively sure that she understood that it would not be in her advantage if the match went 3 sets. She went for broke, and she was making the shots. She absolutely destroyed Azarenka in the first set. Now, in the first set, what was Vika's first serve percentage? Was it somewhere around 40 or mid 40s, like 45, 50%, something like that? The first set was a cataclysm because of the inability of Victoria Azarenka to put her first serve in play. The second serve would come, and Serena would just annihilate it or immediately become on offense. Serena was able to pick her spot, put Azarenka running laterally left and right on defense to staying out of the X patterns, not being able to cut the ball off or getting back to defend properly. So she was running left, right, left, right, left, right, while Serena was cutting the ball off and moving in and handling business. Now, what happens on anyone's 39-year-old body as we age?
She's about to be 39.
Now,
Yeah.
I'm 42, around my late 30s, maybe even mid 30s. When I tried to, my mind, there's a couple of songs out there. I'm as good as I once was, or I'm as good once as I ever was, whatever. My mind tells me that you are going to play at a very high level, and you're running ragged and you're staying fit. But sometimes injuries start to pile on. Sometimes you're breathing a little bit harder, even though you're in shape. Our wheels begin to slow down. The second set changed up a little bit. Now, the beginning of the second set, I kind of thought that we were still in shape for a quick night. But if you noticed, Azarenka began to open the court up. Serena was beginning to move left and right, left and right, left and right. Azarenka settled in. Once that happened, I think we pretty much agreed, and a lot of us that we were talking to at that point in time agreed that it was basically going to be over if Serena wasn't able to end that match somehow, still hitting big time shots. What did Serena begin to do? She started hitting off the back foot.
Missing a lot. Going for too much.
Unforced errors were piling up.
Yes.
Her first serve percentage began to wane a little bit. Mm-hmm. And Azarenka was able to get into the match. By the way,
I love the screeching. I know Wildlife said he was deaf, but I loved it. My daughter sat down and watched it, and I said, look, that's what fighting is about. You let your emotions out, and they fought it to the end. And good for Azarenka, because she had lost so many times to Serena in Grand Slams. I felt like, I wanted Serena to win. But I felt like, it was Azarenka's time too. I mean, you got to feel for her story. She's been fighting for this. So, I mean, we can't feel too bad for Serena. She's 23. How bad can we feel for Serena? We really can't.
No, I feel bad for her in a way because she's having to chase a ridiculous record. And maybe there's some bias in the writers that write these records, but I forget the exact year. I'm sure Michael Walker will know this. Well, what was the exact year where the Open era started? But anyway, I don't know how the Australian is included in the Open era count when there wasn't really a super open tournament in Australia at that point in time. I have to say something real quick. I think on our TV coverage, again, we watched the match but had it down and we're listening to Cam Williams' show at the same time. But we had equally as much coverage during that match of Patrick Mouratoglou.
1968, he's out.
1968, thank you. Michael Walker gave us that?
Gene, yes.
Yeah, knowledge drop. Thanks, Gene and Mike Walker. But we had on ESPN, respectively, where we had the coverage here, we saw equally as much of Patrick Mouratoglou as we did of Serena Williams or Azarenka. I am really tired of seeing the guy. I call him Jack in the Box. Why do I call Patrick Mouratoglou Jack in the Box? Is because every time he's around, he pops up. He's got his little shirt on with his company name on it. His academy. He gets so much PR and marketing. But what has he really done from scratch? If it wasn't for Serena, I don't think he would be Jack in the Box in all these players' boxes. I do not think so. I do not really think, and I have no reason to believe, he's the best coach. How many times on the coverage last night, and we had the captions on? How many times?
Wildlife said, "I'm so sick of Patrick."
Thank you, Wildlife One. How many times in the captions did we read Patrick Mouratoglou, Patrick Mouratoglou? How many times did we hear Chris Evert saying he's the best coach in the business, Carla? Now, is not Chris Evert the most snooty, stuck-up, Aspen bragging, Colorado mansion living, West Palm Tennis Academy doing? But what has she really done? Well, I mean, she's one of the greatest. I get it. I'm not knocking her tennis. She's a wonderful tennis player and earned her majors. Arguably one of the better players. I say better, not best, but one of the better players of all time. Her rap sheet is true, credible. But as a person, Carla, you've been around her. I have not. You have been around her. It's all about her cars. It's all about her houses.
It's about her.
Now at her academy, who has come out of there? Madison Keys was one?
Yeah, but she didn't train her.
Okay, so again, but who there has done major damage, number one. But number two, they have to be in cahoots somehow. That is the media coverage, the ESPN's, Nike, the Nike symbol sitting right next to the M on Mouratoglou. Who has he created from scratch? Who has he raised in his camp and made a multiple or even a single Grand Slam champion from scratch? Serena had, 13 or 14 majors prior to them
13,
signing up?
yes.
13 majors? So why do we have to keep looking at Jack in the Box Mouratoglou? Why? Why do we?
I'm going to read some of your comments, and I'm going to get to three people's comments. But before that, I'm going to say, Alex M says, at 5K tennis, Carlin Justin, a thought experiment. If you would have to choose a tennis player to play your life, who would you choose?
To play our life?
I don't think anybody can.
Damn. That would be rough. 5 kids?
I don't think anybody can.
Man.
No, I can't think of one.
And give them a dose of reality, maybe? Who's kind of a snooty tennis player? Georgie? Who's a real snooty tennis player? We'll set up a husband and wife combo, and we'll make them really like silver spoon fed, where if they stepped into our lives, they'd be like, holy shit, and freak out. So who would be the most kind of snooty tennis players that just seem it's all about themselves? Can you name one?
No, I don't know.
I don't know.
That's snooty?
Stuck up, snooty, like they're the king of the world or the queen of the world.
Just Chris Evert. I mean, I don't have this guy said commentators really bother you guys that much. No, not to me. I don't like listening to Chris Evert, but I still listen to it. I mean, I think there's a few comments. I think Patrick McEnroe's a freaking idiot.
It's not.
So those two. I don't mind listening to Brad Gilbert. I don't mind listening to John McEnroe. I like, what's his name? Chris Fowler.
Yeah, Chris Fowler's good.
I like the one that's always with Chris Evert. What's his name? Cliff
Drysdale.
I like Davenport. I love Bethany Maddox-Sands.
Bethany Maddox-Sands is really good.
Alexander Stevenson should be fired. She didn't do much in tennis, and she sucks as a commentator.
Now her dad is Julius Erving.
Hanchikova's good.
Isn't Stevenson's father one of the best basketball players besides Jordan of all time? Mm-hmm. Beast basketball player. I mean,
what was the tweet, Derek? You said, have you read Patrick's latest tweet? It sounds like he and Serena are done. Can you send it to me?
Who said do the commentators bother us that much?
This guy 1000.
So I love you a lot. This guy 1000. It's not that the commentators bother me necessarily as people. It's just that they're so scripted in a sense, or they're so biased in a sense. They're not always talking about tennis and breaking down the game. Sometimes they're talking about political stuff. Sometimes they're talking about all these different things, or just stuff that has nothing to do with the game, and they go on and on and on about it. Now, maybe it's the media companies that they work for that are scripting it for them. Hey, you got to talk about this, and hey, you got to talk about that. But if I'm watching tennis, I don't want to hear about stuff that is non-related to it. I want to hear about the match, the statistics, and tactics, and so forth. But it seems like these days, half of it, not all of it, but half of it is just political stuff, at least here in the U.S.
All right, let me read some of these comments. First one I'm going to read. Let's see. I'm going to choose Ethan. You're the first one. Ethan says, looking back, I almost wish Serena had retired after 23. What would the story be if she had? Certainly not a histrionic game of kick the can played up by the media, all because of an inflated record set by a homophobe largely before the Open era. She's the GOAT for so many better reasons. Her drive in the face of way more adversity and increasingly stiffer competition than court ever faced in one of them. She won 4 slams in a row twice, more than a decade apart. No one else has done anything like that. No one else has shown that kind of persistence and resilience. To me, that stat says way more than a single total number. And that was true before the 2015 US Open. As the writer of her 2015 Sports Illustrated cover story said, the trying, it's what's impressive.
Great comment.
Yeah. They asked her, are you going to continue? She said, I don't know what to tell you.
Before you read the next one, a quick take on that. Great comment. Great point. Definitely was a good one. Let's look at basketball players real quick. Let's look at the likes of, say, Michael Jordan. Let's just pick Michael Jordan, the GOAT for sure, the greatest of all time. When an athlete plays for so long and they continue trying to win, albeit with a different team or whatever, does it hurt their legacy? So he mentioned that, she's continuing to play and so forth. But when I was watching Jordan leave the Bulls, left the game for a little while for the second time, and then came back and played for the Washington Wizards, and he was just out there. He didn't look in the same shape. He was still playing pretty good, but losing. It didn't hurt his legacy because he was so dominant, won 6 championships, just ridiculously good. But let's look at boxers. Let's look at Joe Louis or Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was on top of the world, kept fighting, and then lost to Buster Douglas, and then kept fighting and lost to Holyfield. Joe Louis, kind of the same thing. Joe Louis was born around much before I was even born, but my father had me study Joe Louis because my father's favorite athlete, or one of his favorite athletes of all time, was Joe Louis. Joe Louis was in the 30s, 40s era. My dad's 82, hence they were kind of at the same point in time. But does it hurt Serena's legacy continuing to try to win these majors only to kind of, hurt the foot, get upset, maybe cry a little bit, understandably, but does it hurt her legacy to keep going as Ethan said, he wishes she would have retired after 23. Is her legacy being kind of marginalized by continuing? You know, kind of like Jordan at the Wizards, or
Yang Hao said it doesn't hurt their legacy because we know they're far from their best.
Okay, good answer. I agree with that.
All right, let me read the next one. Jack Nolte said, "What a match! Serena tweeted ankle, no excuse, but it was a great comeback by Vika. Serena will be back. Not sure if she can at French, but Australian anyway. Doesn't need 24. Only love her to get to see a look on the bigot's face on court."
Man, as much as I want to say that's the case, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. But guys, we have to look at the truth here. Last night, this whole tournament, you know, Serena's been through a lot of 3-set matches in this tournament alone. But what would happen if Andreescu was in the tournament? What would happen if Halep was in the tournament? I think she would still go through Svitolina. I'm not a huge fan of Svitolina's game. I think it's a little on the soft side. She's gotten better, I think. But what happens if these girls are there? I mean, is it going to be easier?
Spencer Sabo says it only hurts her legacy if she doesn't win an Open, which she still has a shot at this year.
What, the French?
I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough for on clay because the points are going to be longer. She's going to have more ball strikes. You know, on clay, if she plays it, is she even going to play the French? She
says she will. Yes, they asked her. She will be there.
So the problem that she'll have on clay is the points are longer and the surface is more arduous. It's more athletic to play on. You have to dig deep. You have to dirt ball, right? Hence the metaphor. But
what was the tweet, guys? I know you sent me a text, Michael Walker, but what was the tweet? That wasn't Patrick's tweet, so I want to see that. Michael Walker says Justin Serena's like Roy Jones using boxing.
Okay, that's a good metaphor. You know, Roy Jones is from around this neck of the woods. I think Roy Jones is from Pensacola, Florida. Roy Jones is, in my opinion, one of the best in his weight class of all time. I think that goes without saying. Great take there. Love Roy Jones.
To me, she doesn't have to prove anything. She doesn't have to win to me, she doesn't have the 24th. I would just like to see it because it's on the records. You know, we always remember who had the most slams.
You know what I just thought about? Is not, this is from Michael Walker, is not Roy Jones fixing to fight Mike Tyson for like an exhibition match?
Yes.
Isn't he? Is anybody interested in that? I know I would be. Now, if it's pay-per-view, I'm out, and I'll just catch the highlights.
Yemi Lade's comment was the other one I had. At 5K tennis, she's bothering herself with things she shouldn't be.
Who?
Serena.
Okay.
Now it's consumed her, and the other girls and mothers know she's beatable. The Aurora is still there, but only 95% of the tour.
Agreed.
The problem is she needs to be the outstanding 5%, and they don't fear her anymore. Think Halep, Andreescu, Azarenka, Osaka, probably Goff soon. Probably Jennifer Brady soon. That's too many people to beat to win a slam. Oh, and Barty.
Yeah, that's
she's not going to get the fairy tale ending.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem that way. I mean, she played 3 sets. Let's look at her draw. You know, we looked at Brady's draw. Serena's first round match was, where is she? Okay, her first round match was against Christy Ahn. I think she won that in straight.
That should have been
straight. Serena then played Sloane Stephens. She went 3.
Okay.
Serena then played Sakari. That went
tough.
3.
Yeah.
Serena then played Pironkova. That went 3.
Yeah.
Then she played Azarenka, and that went 3. So if we ask ourselves what happens if along the way a couple of those girls were swapped out for Barty, for Halep, for Svitolina, for Coco Gauff, or whoever, does she win any of those 3 setters? So that's what we have to ask ourselves. So as this pandemic loosens and whatever unfolds and the masks are thrown away, what happens then? Does she even go 3 sets with those players? I mean, does she? I mean, be honest.
She's chasing the record, just like Federer wants to win another one. I mean, you can't blame them for trying. We shouldn't bash them for them trying. You know, it's their right. Kim Clijsters came back and she's trying. And
Kim Clijsters, I mean, much love to her, but her comeback has been really kind of a ploy at some type of
she needs to lose at least 20 pounds.
Yeah, she's
20 pounds and like,
love Clijsters, but wow, she's not even close to tennis shape. She's not even close.
But then you see Azarenka, they're all trying to live. They want to. Andy Murray, they want to keep going. So who are we to tell them, hey, you need to retire? We're nobody. It's like somebody telling you, hey, stop playing tennis because you get hurt.
How old is Azarenka now? Is she like 34, 33, 34? I'm guessing. I'm curious about that. What does, okay, so we've kind of broken down that match.
I love the Med 31, so she's got time.
Okay, so she's got time.
She's got time.
What does Azarenka have to do to have a chance to beat Naomi Osaka? Does she have a chance to beat her? I think so. I think she
does. She needs to keep sitting down. I mean, she would sit down and she would just meditate or whatever she was doing. It worked. But Osaka's going to be faster and stronger and the balls are going to come back, in my opinion, a lot quicker. And if you notice, Osaka serves to the tee a lot.
So and Osaka cranks it.
She cranks first and second, so she's going to maybe have to take off a little bit and try to pull Osaka out more and bring her to the net. She's going to have to approach that net to end the points quicker. Osaka will be very, very tough to beat, in my opinion.
All right, so let's look at.
So some people say here Federer has a better chance of winning a slam before Serena.
I agree with that. Who said that? I agree with that. I think that's.
Hitchhiker.
I think that's a great take, Hitchhiker. I do. That's very well said. I didn't think about that. And I also didn't think about the next 2 out of 3 slams are clay. And someone mentioned that to us. I think it was a gentleman, Igor or something. Mm-hmm. But I didn't think about that either. So we have to understand that the next 2 out of 3 slams are on clay, a very just grinding surface. It's very possible that and before the next year, the next 12 months from this day, that Nadal has 21 majors. You know what I'm saying? I mean, 2 out of the next 3 majors now, because of this, are at the French Open. Does anyone think that will occur? Do you think that Rafael Nadal will have 21 majors by this time or even sooner than this time next year? I mean, isn't it a great possibility?
Nothing's guaranteed, like I told everybody with Djokovic. Nothing's guaranteed in life. You never know. I don't know.
All right, let's look at Azarenka's draw, who she's played. And she is
James said, but it isn't like Serena's losing early in slams. She's losing in semifinals and finals. So doesn't she still have a chance?
I agree with that. Who said that?
James Stevens.
I agree with that. I thought about that last night. So I was postulating a question in my head. Should Serena Williams now retire? You know, and I said, well, wait a minute. She's made the semifinals of a major.
Venus is closer to retirement than Serena, honestly.
Yeah,
but she won't because she's just having fun.
Yeah, Serena's playing for the love of the game.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. By the way, Venus Williams, her sister, one of my favorite matches of all time was the 1999 Wimbledon final where Venus played Steffi Graf in the final. Mm-hmm. Wonderful match. That's when tennis to me was still classy, still elegant to watch. There wasn't a lot of grunting going on. Venus wasn't even grunting then, right? Mm-hmm. I think you can catch that match on YouTube, by the way. One of the greatest matches of all time, in my opinion. Venus, Steffi, 99 Wimbledon final. That's when tennis was really free-flowing, elegant to watch, not hooling, hollering, no racket smashing, just really good tennis. But Venus, I think, is playing for the love of the game and to stay fit, to promote her brand and so forth. Serena, I think, is playing the game to get rid of this hideous record that she's chasing. So does she have a chance?
But she wished she'd never lost to Roberto Vinci.
Yeah, that Vinci match was awful. And by the way, the Vinci match she lost, Serena had won the first set there. Mm-hmm. Serena was up 1-0, and then Vinci came back and won the next 2 sets, and there went that chance. I mean, shoulda, coulda, woulda, dollar short, day late, whatever.
All right, let's go on to the next thing. By the way, I thought a little interesting thing was that Mate Pavic from Croatia and Bruno Suarez won the men's doubles title, and they beat Wesley Kuhov and Nikol Mektic, which is another Croatian. So good for the Croatians.
Vamos, let's go.
I looked up these guys just to see what their singles ranking was. Mate Pavic is 295 in the world, and Bruno Suarez is 221. It just shows you to play doubles, you don't have to have a super high. These guys know what they're doing in doubles.
Yeah, and I think, and usually we talk about this as wheelchair doubles or singles and doubles. I don't think they played it, right?
Yeah, they played.
They did play wheelchair.
They're playing wheelchair. Yeah.
I didn't write that down. I thought that they didn't, but they did. They deserve a lot of respect. A couple U.S. Opens I went to on a string apprenticeship, and I had the opportunity to string some rackets for these guys in the wheelchairs. And these guys, whether it's there's 2 different.
Djokovic tried to play in a wheelchair. One of the guys was showing him, the one who won last year, the champion.
Yeah.
And it was
Australian
tough. He
guy,
said it was tough.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 different categories. There's one where I think they are just confined to a wheelchair because of whatever reason, and then some of them where there's actually like double loss of limb or something. And these guys really rock and roll out there.
Yeah. Michael Walker corrected you. He said Venus played Steffi Graf in Wimbledon quarterfinal 1999.
Was that okay?
Graf lost in 1999 final.
Okay, there you go. Thank you.
V Savage's Joker's already the GOAT if you break things down. Well, he's got to break the record. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, we agree with you. Who said that?
V Savage.
So yeah, he knows we've been through this before. V Savage knows that. We agree with you. Yes. But again, we're talking about if the generations move on and dead and gone, and some kid just opens up an encyclopedia, who's the greatest of all time. It's just going to start at slam count and list them down.
Is Serena done with Patrick? I don't think so.
She should be, because What is it? Okay, now what I find is odd is that am I right or wrong? And you can correct me if I'm wrong here. But didn't Patrick Mortagalo and Serena have a romantic relationship? Weren't they like a pair?
Yeah.
So I wonder what her husband not getting.
I said this yesterday.
Oh, okay.
This is what I said to you.
It's just kind of an odd thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then furthermore, Serena Williams created the guy. I don't know what she owes him. Do you know what I mean? I don't think she owes him anything. I think if anything, Patrick Mortagalo, Jack in the Box himself, owes her everything. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah. So my message. So I'm reading his tweet because nobody sent it to me. High respect for Vika, her comeback, her level yesterday. Uniqueness. That is why even though you are used to achieving high results, you should be very proud of what you have accomplished in the last 3 years. I'm very lucky to share this last journey with you, and I believe in the future. The quest goes on.
I mean, he has.
What does that sound like to you?
He has no choice but to say that. Again, she created him.
It sounds like, I mean, that is, even though you are used to achieving higher results, you should be very proud of what you accomplished in the last 3 years. I am very lucky to share this last journey with you, and I believe in the future. The quest goes on.
I could care less, honestly. Name another coach that's having a rough time, and that didn't Yastremska just fire Sasha Bajin? So didn't Serena create him as well because that was her hitting partner? So in my opinion, Serena created Bajin, and Bajin with his super tan, his silky smooth hair. By the way, Sasha Bajin's tan is so bad it looks like a baseball mitt or some rawhide or something. But she created him. He got a big head, a big ego. He went to the coaching world. He's had a rough go of it. He coached Mladenovic and who did he coach? Mladenovic and who else? Yastremska. Anyway. And then, Mortagalo again. If not for her, what does he have the media Jack in the Box appearances that he has now? I doubt it.
Yeah. Someone said Azarenka married Red Foo. No, she didn't.
Yeah.
They were just dating.
Who said that?
Yeah, they were just dating. I'm reading it here.
Who said that? Yeah, Rafu?
Party rocking to.
Yeah, who said that though? Who said that?
I'm looking. Hold on.
That's a great point. Very true.
Oh, Spencer Sabo. But they didn't get married. They were just dating.
But the premise is the same.
She was different before, though.
The premise is the same. The Juan Fu guy, is it not true or true that Victoria had, kind of some ups and downs in the personal life? I don't think that Juan Fu, I agree with him, I don't think that Juan Fu, party in the house tonight, whatever his cheesy name is, and his weird-ass hair and his ugly glasses, I don't think he was a big help for her either. But,
no, he was not a big help for her.
So, it happens.
Michael said Patrick is hotter and richer than Serena's husband.
Good point. Good point. I mean, I get it. I mean, you have to agree with that. How can you not agree with it? It's the truth.
But obviously it didn't work out for a reason, right?
All right. Well, wasn't Serena with Dimitrov and so was Sharapova and the list goes on? I mean, whatever. I would just have a hard time dealing with that if I was the husband. Do you know what I'm saying? Knowing there has been that and now here we are. Next question. What chances do we have of Azarenka beating Osaka? By the way, I have the Vegas odds on it, and the betting line is not that lopsided. Osaka is minus 167, which means if I bet $167 on Osaka and I win, I get $100. So I have to bet 167 to win 100. If I lose, then I lose 167. So I have to wager $167 to win 100. Now, Azarenka is plus 148, meaning if I bet $100 on Azarenka, then I win $148. What bet do you take if you're betting that $100? Do you take Osaka? So you're going to bet 167 because you're so.
I wouldn't take that bet.
Yeah, you wouldn't be willing to lose $67 more than your 100 if she won or lost. So if you had to pick who to win, would you put 167 to win 100 on Osaka, or would you put $100 on Azarenka to win 148? Who would you pick?
I wouldn't bet that match.
You would not bet the match.
No, I would not bet the match.
I think, and I probably would pass on this action, but I think I would go ahead and risk the 167 to risk 100. I'm fairly confident Osaka wins here. Would not be shocked if Azarenka does, but you said it best. She's younger. She's got a belief right now. She's got something else besides tennis to fight for. I think her mind is set on it.
I mean, think about it. You see these pictures? Like, if I'm her husband, I'd be like, wait a minute.
Oh, no. Can you show that one again? Can you turn it sideways?
I mean, I'd be like, what?
Here's Jack in the Box.
I'd be like, I don't know.
Turn it sideways.
No, I can't because, I mean, like, why would you? Like, I don't know. It comes out blurry, but anyway. I would have to question that. I'd be like, give us a better one.
Turn. Oh,
I mean, they had a pretty deep relationship there.
Can I see?
I mean, you don't put your hand on a guy's ass.
Oh shit!
I'm just saying.
Snooky. All right, so who's got who? Who's taking Osaka with the action? Who's taking Azarenka with the action? Who you taking? And then I want to get into the men's side.
All right. I'm not. Were you asking them?
Anybody.
All right, let's see. Carla with all the deets. Okay. I take Osaka, said Team Gross. Vika can win, but Osaka's the favorite.
Yeah.
Let's see. 5K, Serena isn't. Okay, 5K, Serena husband isn't rich. He was worth $3 million when he married Serena. Okay. I never knew that about
Make sure you're
Serena's
reading her
coach.
names.
Okay, so Team Girl said, I never knew that about Serena's coach, by the way. That's weird for her husband.
Yeah.
Thank you. It is weird. There's pictures, and there's more pictures.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It's kind of a weird situation for sure. I mean, dude, if you're Alex Ohanian, and you have a family, and then the guy that used to, how do I say this, PG, the guy that used to be having fun with your wife is like in your box and looking better than you do. By the way, his hair is really long right now, so he looks like Keanu Reeves right now. So you got
Keanu Reeves is good looking. Sorry.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. I mean, Patrick Mortaglou, Michael Walker said it best, is much hotter than that guy. So if you got Pretty Boy Jack in the Box versus that guy, I mean, don't you feel like that maybe you'd be a little sketched out about that relationship?
Yeah, I would be.
I mean, she's traveling, and not that you don't trust her, it's just that you know it's happened, and you're like, okay, wait a minute. I would have.
Where do you see that? It says as of 2019, Alex Ohanian's net worth is worth $70 million.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, $3 million doesn't sound right to me.
He founded Reddit.
$70 million.
I thought it was more than that.
I'm reading it here. His net worth is worth $70 million.
Yeah, I mean, he founded the search engine Reddit, where you go and you can search up topics and people talk about it, and it's quite a successful.
But Serena's
startup.
worth more. She's worth
obviously.
$225
Yeah, obviously. But yeah, I mean, he's a very wealthy guy. I mean, money aside from that, I mean, I wonder what Patrick Mortaglou's net worth is, especially after the airtime he gets on these networks. I mean, to get that type of, do you know how much? Look, do you know how much money people spend on commercials for 30 seconds during like the Super Bowl? You guys know, Michael Walker, you know, B-Dog, you know, Wildlife One, you know, if you're here and watch Super Bowls, I mean, I think people, and correct me if I'm wrong, are paying like $10-15 million for a 30-second commercial.
His net worth is $5 million.
Who?
Patrick Mortaglou.
Okay, but his liquid asset,
net worth $200 million.
See, his net worth, that's what I'm talking about. He's got an academy, and just because you don't have liquid money doesn't mean your assets aren't worth that as well. So he has his own academy that's worth money on a loan block. So he's 20 million liquid or whatever, and he's 200 million net. So yeah, I mean he's paying rent for sure.
Let's go on to the men's. Today.
All right, so we're going to start with the men's side. I'm going to give you the betting odds first, so you know what the favorites in terms of betting are. So the first match, TM Medvedev. Medvedev is minus 110. So this is a close one, at least for betting lines in Vegas. Medvedev is minus 110, meaning, hey, I got to bet $110 to win 100. So it's real close, not that bad. And Dominic Thiem is plus 105. So, hey, I bet 100 on him. I'm going to win $5. So it's kind of a push there, give or take $5. So who do you take there? And then we'll talk about why. I'm going to take, well, shoot, I don't know. That's why it's so close. Thiem's been really good with the slice. And then he can crank the top spin one-hander when he wants to. So he's been mixing it up. He's been adding variety. But here's Medvedev, the same type of guy. Loves taking it up the line. The problem Thiem's going to have with working the slice to the backhand side. So if they're backhand, slice, Medvedev's going to be the first one to take it up the line. And if he's making that shot, Thiem will have a rough go.
Here's a good question.
You know what I'm saying?
Here's a good question by Richard. He says, so sorry I'm late.
By who?
Richard Sylvester.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry I'm in late. But was this Margaret Court record never an issue when Steffi Graf had the most championships?
That's a great question.
I don't think she cared.
Michael Walker can probably answer that.
I don't think she really cared.
Mike Walker knows this generational
Don't
type
aggravate
stuff.
Carla by mentioning Zverev. That's funny. Someone said, oh yeah, here it is. Alex BG1 from Australia said, don't mention Zverev on this channel unless you're talking about Misha Zverev.
I like that. Who said that? He's in Australia.
He's in Australia, yes.
Alex
BG1.
Why do I like this comment, Alex? Is because Misha is the servant volleyer of that family, and I was raised that way. All the way through, I want to say my first or second year of college, that was predominantly how I played. Would play with the original Pro Staff 85 or a K Factor 90 or the Encode 90, and then all of a sudden we began to back up a little bit. And then that was kind of the beginning of the end of really dominating tennis for me, because I wasn't as good from the baseline as everybody else. My ability to serve and come in was really changed when the rackets became lighter, the polyester strings became abundant. It was tough for me to adjust to that, hence why I got into coaching and graduated with a psychology degree and didn't follow. I began to become a little bit of a punching bag once the game transitioned to the baseline. And it was tough for me. It was a tough grind. But Misha, I like better of the two because he is a really classy serve and volley player. So I like that comment.
James Stevens said, what game style does Vika have, by the way? I mean, I think she's an aggressive player. I saw someone said pusher. No, not a pusher. She's aggressive.
I think she has variety.
She has variety.
You know, before she had her child and went through her off-court issues, and that's a tumultuous time. She was much thicker, and I think she played.
Was a baseline.
I think she played a lot more aggressive from the baseline. But I think as she has kind of grown through time and become a mother, and now as she said on TV, I don't take any shit anymore. I don't care. She says the same thing that I say to people when they, say some stupid shit. I'm just like, I don't give a shit what you think. I don't give a damn. I mean, you want to come pay my rent? You want to come raise my 5 kids? I mean, whatever, man. Who gives a shit? But Victoria Azarenka, I think, has that same type of attitude now. Like she said last night, she said, my ego's not as big as it used to be. I've humbled down, but I'm not going to take any crap from anybody, and I'll play all night if you want to play. And I think that's an asset for her playing Osaka. So if she can make the match longer, she has a chance, right? But when Azarenka was a little thicker, 5, 8, 10 years ago, much more aggressive. I think she's more varietal at this point.
I'll take the bet, by the way.
What bet?
Hitchhiker said, what if Sever wins the U.S. Open? And then this guy says, Carla will explode at Hitchhiker. So V Savage says, if Sever wins, I say Carla dresses up like him. So what will you do for me, V Savage?
Okay, wait a minute. I'm putting this bet down. What's the bet?
What will you do, V Savage?
What's the bet?
If Sever wins, I say Carla dress up like him.
So, and you're in on that?
Yeah,
right?
I don't know how I'm going to dress up like him.
Lock it in. We'll figure it out.
Trim the hair a bit as well.
Oh,
I'm not
she can't trim the hair. She can't trim
cutting my hair.
Yeah, she can't do that. I love Ashley.
I'm not cutting my hair. No.
Okay, so if Zevra wins, we'll find a way for you to dress up like him, you said?
Okay, B Savage, what are you going to do?
So she'll wear, you guys can figure it out. Bandana,
I know it's a safe
shirt.
bet. I know, Team Bro. I know it's a safe bet.
Okay, so we're going to take the bet. Okay, so Zverev wins. Now, last time she took a bet, she paid her dues twice, dressed up like Djokovic, blah, 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 blah.
Carla has to be a toothpick. And as you can tell, I'm definitely not a toothpick. I think I have more arm than Zverev, in my opinion.
Yeah, you do. And your legs.
And one of my legs is 2 of his.
Yeah, one of her legs is 2 of his. Her quads are like back. One of her quads is bigger than both of mine. So if Zverev wins, you guys decide what she does. And if...
Start to diet. I'm not going to be super thin. I could never be that thin.
Can't.
I can tell you when I was in high school, I was never as thin as him.
What was your nickname in high school?
Diesel.
Diesel.
No way. My body's not built that way.
Yeah, her and her dad are really really
Even
thin.
when I got amoebas, I didn't even get that thin.
Go to our Facebook channel. The link is in the description below. It's Justin space Carla Davis with the C. It's in the link below. Click on it, and if you're not a friend there, we'll of course accept. And Carla's all throughout it, playing, pictures, whatever. Check out the legs. I'm just saying they're quite massive and they're very ripped up. So check them out. You'll be like,
Carla
damn.
has to get Sever merchandise and wear it in the show. Look, I'm taking the bet because I know Sever is not winning. So no.
But the question, I got you logged in. She's already accepted it. But what is the flip side of that? The last time she lost a bet or won a bet, Ethan DA in New York baked cookies for the kids. Even though I'm not fond of cookies and I don't let the kids eat that crap very much, but they love the cookies. So something like that, but make it fun. She's in. But what's on the flip side of that? And who wanted to bet you? Who was the one person that wanted to bet you?
B Savage.
B Savage. You taking it? Are you in? You in, B Savage? What's up? Love that guy. Are you in? Is he in?
He said he's thinking about it. So.
All right. Well, let us know before the dang match starts, because if he loses, you lost the bet, right? If he loses the booster, you lost the bet. So I need to know before the match starts. In comments, you can text me, message me, find us on
Michael
Facebook.
Walker
whatever.
says Sever thighs are very strong.
Yeah, I'm agreeing. I'm not saying they're not strong. They're long.
I can never be that thing. Never. My body's just not built that way. It's just it isn't. Be Savage will dress as Carla. Yeah, I like that one.
Okay. We can figure something out, but how can we get him on the show?
I don't know. You could take it like Rajesh did, when he lost.
And send it to you.
Remember
we just
when he
showed
said,
it?
Carla, you won. You were right. I still have it saved.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about Rajesh's debt.
Yeah.
All right. So who wins the match though? Go back to the betting odds.
Medvedev or Thiem?
Medvedev or Thiem?
That's a tough match. I'll give it to Medvedev.
I don't know, man.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know. I'm gonna pull for Medvedev. I'm pulling for him, but I don't know. I really don't know if I wouldn't bet on it if I had to drop the 100. But if I had to drop the 100,
I wouldn't drop the 100. That match also is tight. I wouldn't bet on that match.
I don't know who in the
Gene Schwartz says Medvedev in 5.
That's a good call.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I have to step away from the action. I guess if I would have to flip a coin. I guess I'll say Thiem. No reason why. I'm just.
He deserves it. Someone says stop calling him the next gen because he's 27 years old.
We never called him the next gen.
No, I guess people do.
We said that at one point in time he was kind of the next generation. Here he is at 27, and he still hasn't kind of been the next generation.
Oh, that's because the 3 have made it really tough.
Is anyone really excited for that match? Is anyone are they?
I think that's gonna be a good match. That's gonna be back-to-back solid ground strokes. I think we'll be hearing a lot of grunting from Master Splinter. He should bring his team, the Ninja Turtles. Yeah. They might help him.
Freaking Leonardo.
He should make his coach dress up like Donatello. Yeah, make him dress like that.
I can't believe you came up with the OG Real 3
Teenage Mutant
Ninja Turtles names.
He might win.
That was beastly. Okay, next match. Carreno Busta against Zverev. I got the betting odds on that action. All right, so this is quite a lopsided set of action here. So Carreno Busta is plus 235. So if you bet $100 on Busta, you'd win $235. All right, if you bet $265 on Zverev, you would only win $100. Who are you taking on that action? I'm going Busta all day long.
I'm going Busta too.
Not only do I think Busta will cover that action, I think Busta wins the match. I only think that because he is a human backboard, and if Zverev whines and cries in this match, again, I don't dislike Zverev. I'm just not a fan because he likes to whine and just kind of complain a lot. No big deal. I'm not hating on him. I wish the best for him, and I mean that. But I think Busta, honestly, wins the match. I think this is a sucker bet with these odds so way out there.
Gene says PCB in 4. Michael Walker says Zverev in 5.
Good
Jack
point.
Nolte said Busta.
Okay. I mean, all good takes. Again,
Busta Rhymes.
I mean, Busta Rhymes was a pretty good performer as well. So the reason why I would take the bet from an action standpoint is if I have $100 and I have to bet it, I might as well put it down and hope to win almost 2.5 times that. But what I want to risk $265 to bet on the puppy hater himself, Lendl's prodigy that didn't last because Zverev wanted to punt his puppy off the court.
I'm good, guys, and I'm partying, even though I had coronavirus. Yeah.
Let's go.
And he's so stupid not to know the camera's right there. Anybody can go like this.
So who are you taking? Man. Are you dropping the 100 to win 230?
Oh man! So Gene said 7-5-3-6-6-4-7-6. He predicted the score.
Bingo.
Richard says I'm going with Zverev in 3. Ying Hao says unfortunately Zverev, but whoever wins will be guaranteed runner-up.
Correct.
This guy says Zverev really needs to serve to work. Richards changed it to 4. James said, who will win if Zverev versus Thiem in the final, both of which Carla doesn't like?
This is a good point. Who said that?
James Stevens.
Good job, James Stevens, because you told the truth. Carla does not like either one of those guys. And it's uncanny. She likes someone at one point, and you ask her why, or she doesn't like someone at one point. You ask her why, and she's like, because he looks like Master Splinter. You're like, what does that have to do with their tennis game?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
That someone asked me, have I seen the imitation of Thiem? They had that guy with
what's his name? Like Elliot something.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, he does a good job.
Hilarious.
Yeah, his Nadal imitations are just absolutely just hilarious.
Michael Walker said Busta Rhymes most on steroids because he was so skinny as a kid. Now he's huge like a house, and his face is huge.
I like Busta though. I
did too.
Busta's all right. I saw him I think 3 or 4 times. Once was at a Lollapalooza. Really good show. I saw him in Atlanta once, maybe New Orleans there. I can't remember.
Well, I mean, Dominic, if it were to be Zverev and Dominic Thiem, I would have to say that Thiem deserves winning a major, right?
I would think so.
I mean, you would think that you would want to root the guy that's been into so many finals but couldn't beat the big guy, Nadal. He's facing.
So I'm gonna ask Michael.
So I would go with Thiem in that case.
So I'm gonna ask Michael Walker a question that has nothing to do with tennis. Every time I've been to probably 300 hip hop shows and been performing before with different freestyle things, whatever. Why is it that every time I go to a hip hop show or anyone goes to one, for like the first 4 hours of the night, it's nothing but like a bunch of crew on the stage, and then finally at 2 o'clock in the morning, the person you came to see comes out, stays on stage for about 30 minutes, and then it's over.
That's because they're busy partying with their hoochie mamas and back and drinking and snorting who knows what and puffing,
You're dropping like 200 at the door, and then all of a sudden you're there for...
That's why. They're puffing, snorting. They got, all these girls around them. They're drinking, and,
and you're like,
by that time they're hammered, so they feel like they can rap.
Oh, man. And then sometimes it just goes downhill pretty quick. But nonetheless.
Which is why I would never waste money on watching anyone.
All right, so predictions for who makes the final. What is the consensus? Who makes the men's final? Is it Busta, Thiem?
I already said it. I already said everybody's thing.
Well, that was the semifinals.
Okay,
we didn't talk about who was predicted to go to the finals.
Okay.
What's the consensus? Is it Zverev, Medvedev? Is it Carina Busta, Thiem? What's the consensus? Personally, I think Busta against Thiem, and that's just a guess on Thiem. I feel confident that Busta will beat Zverev. I feel pretty confident about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really worried about that. Hence why I would take the action at plus 235.
Okay. Well, Thiem Zverev, Thiem versus Zverev, PCV versus Medvedev. So Mondo thinks Thiem versus Busta.
Busta, not Busta. We're not talking about Busta Rhymes anymore.
No, but they call him Busta.
All right.
Gene says PCV versus Medvedev. Richard Sylvester, Thiem versus Zverev. Hitchhiker, Thiem versus Zverev. Whoever wins this title will be too happy to take Roland Garros serious. That's what this guy said.
I like it.
How awkward will the trophy ceremony be? James Stevens said that.
With no crowd and stuff like that? Who do you're trying to thank everybody. Thank you, the crowd, and there's no
Alex M. Zverev Medvedev, James Stevens just Thiem Zverev. So the consensus is Thiem versus Zverev mostly.
We'll see what happens.
So David said, I went to Amigos show in Hollywood. Same situation.
Same situation?
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood, I'm from out there. What show was it? Who was the show?
Mm-hmm.
What year? I could have been there. I don't know.
005 Belinda Augustine said Thiem Zverev. Thiem Zverev all the way.
I just don't think so. I mean, I hope so. I mean, I would love to see him finally, kind of grow up a little bit. I don't dislike him. Again, I'm not a huge fan. I would like to be. But I just don't have a reason to be yet because
I'll be on the court at that time for the first match. So
yeah, we got to teach today. So what lessons do we have? We have one at what time?
3:30 and then
another one, and then we have to get all the kids out there to train too. So
well, we're gonna get them out before that. So
I mean, we'll record it and watch it though.
All right.
That's it.
That's it.
All right. Hey, thanks to everyone again. Remember 9/11. Again, Michael Walker's out there in New York. NY producer Carla's New York. Her dad's New York. We got a lot of family in New York. Again, don't forget that day. It was a rough one. So shout out to all those watching that were affected by 9/11. So have a good 9/11. Much thanks to all you guys. If not for you, there isn't this. This is for you and not for us. We would do this anyway. We would have done it just once or twice and then stopped it if no one would have said hello. So thank you for saying hello. All right?
All right.
Adios, muchachos. And how do you say girls? Muchachos? Muchachas.
Yeah.
All right. Adios. Take care, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Alrighty.
Ready?
Yep.
See ya.
Bye.